Thank you so much. That was an incredible talk, and we all, I think, read The 1 Minute Manager, and The 1 Minute Manager Meets the Monkey was a great book. But I want to go to this place that you mentioned as you talked, which was this idea of how someone got together with you, and you kind of conspired to do some things, and you said, get together with your pastor. And good things happened when this happened. But what would you say to somebody who says, gosh, I don't really know what to say to get together with my pastor. I don't think I understand their world. What would I walk in and say?
Here's a check.
Here's a check just to begin with.
That's a good opener.
I didn't put my money in the offering because I wanted to give it to you directly.
We actually don't mind it if it's really big. No, I'm just joking with you. That's not really true.
That's awesome.
The reality is that most pastors are in the business that they're in because they're teachers, and they don't know much about leadership. The truth is that most of the elder boards that run churches, most of them are made up of wonderful men and women that don't have a leadership gift, they have a shepherding gift. So oftentimes the pastor is really struggling. And as a result, he should proactively reach out to you because you're a gold mine of coming together and not only helping the church, but helping to partner together to change the city. I mean, I think that's a little bit what I was talking about Stan. When we partnered together with our army and his business idea, we really can make a difference. But most pastors are just overwhelmed with trying to get the doors open on Sunday. So I think getting together with them and just saying, I'm here, here's my skill sets, I can do something for you. If the pastor, I'll tell you this, if the pastor feels like he has to lead you, like he's got to come up with an outline on how you're going to do it, it'll burn his board. It'll burn it because he doesn't have any idea. What you need to say is, just turn it over to me and I'll lead it and make it better. That's the key.
So volunteer to do something and not give him or her another job.
That's the number one mistake you made. You're trying to be humble by saying, hey, I'll follow your lead, but really what they're saying is, I don't know how to lead in this area, and I don't have time to do one more thing. If you can come over, and if your specialty is evaluating staff, staff engagement, and just say, hey, can I just turn this over to you? I'd love to know more about that.
Okay. And my second question, then we'll get to some of the questions from the audience that are already popping up, so thank you very much. What would you say to business leaders who maybe they didn't walk beside you for 40 hours during the week and watch what you did? What would you say they need to understand your world?
Yeah. First of all, if it is the world of the senior minister, which I really recommend the CEOs and the senior ministers getting together. First of all, is how much time we have to spend in preparing talks.
Wow.
So a good talk takes about 20 to 25 hours a week. So if you're thinking of even a 50-hour week, 50% of our time is consumed in giving a talk. Number two, you might assume that we're getting lots of really good feedback, and we are. But we're getting enough bad feedback in a given week that most pastors are not believing in themselves by the end of each week.
Okay.
And I think they're going to hold it together, but your pastor's hurting more than you think he is, and he doesn't know who he can trust. So when a business guy comes to us that we don't know, we're thinking, okay, what does he want? What's this going to cost me? And so, so they're just. I had this happen at a function the other day. A business guy that I barely know came up and said, "Here's $30,000," and I went, "Wow!" I went to my wife and says, "I wonder what this is going to cost me." Right? In other words, I think he might. Now we're having a follow-up conversation today. It's enough money to get my attention, but we're having a follow-up conversation today before we receive it. We're asking ourselves, what's involved here? So.
Interesting. Well, here's the first question. Is there any resource available that can help guide a church to embrace business leaders rather than quiet them? Does that make sense?
Wow, yeah.
I give you the easy ones first.
Wow. Is there a process?
Or a resource available today that can help guide a church to embrace business leaders rather than...
I don't know of one. And, and I'll tell you, one of the things that really dawns on me, because I feel like this is, I have a tribe of pastors that I meet with around the country, kind of like you're doing here, and it's the spouses as well, and my wife loves this gathering. I'm thinking at some point down the road, there might be an intermingling of convene with the tribe of pastors, not to overtake this, but to create a conversation.
Well, there's a number of us who are talking about that.
Okay.
And if you want to continue that conversation, we would be really open. That would be, I think, a great time. Right now, media is doing some good work at that out of their offices in Dallas. But I think that would be a great thing to happen, because it is fascinating that the pastoral groups get together and the business groups get together, but they're in different hotels in different months. Somehow that doesn't create conversation.
It doesn't, and it's no different in any other line of work. To get things done, there has to be relationship and there has to be trust, right? And so a fellow pastor of a very large church in our town followed suit with what I did, and he just got together with the CEOs in his church that are involved in a group just like this. And I think the conversation's beginning to happen.
Sweet. Okay, another question says, what would be a modern day example of washing someone's feet?
That's a great question. Maybe we should turn it to the audience. A modern day example of washing somebody's feet. For me, I was at a homeless shelter working with a group of people, and with a group of neighbors, and we were serving them up, and it was all our neighbors. And all of a sudden, this guy from our church comes in, and I sat down with him, and I said, "How did you hear about our serving opportunity tonight?" And he said, "Randy, I'm not here to serve. This is where I live." And I assumed because he went to my suburban church that he was a business guy, and he could see the terror on my face. I think a lot of it is a genuine spirit of just, it's not, you're not faking it. You actually do, when people talk to you, they sense that you're in charge, but you see that they are the same.
Here's an example that happened to me one time, and maybe we'll do one more question after this and be done. But I was at an event in Paris, and it was a number of Campus Crusade people, and the gentleman who was leading the organization was Billy Graham's translator, and he brought us into his office one at a time on breaks, and he shined our shoes.
Oh, really?
And I thought, wow, right? Because my feet do not get that dirty somehow with socks and shoes on them like sandals in Jesus' day, but they sure get scuffed. And so he brought the men and the women one at a time, and he shined their shoes over the course of 3 days.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that was unbelievable. I mean, he rolled your pants up, and he had all the little jars of stuff, and it was just great.
Yeah.
So.
And the intent of that experience is to unnerve the person who's having it done to them. It unnerves them.
Yes. And I kept saying, no, you don't have to do this.
Right.
Sounds like a guy in the Bible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last question says no more questions because we're done. Okay. So I just do what they tell me back there.
That's good.
Thank you so much. Come and see Randy if you want to, and grab one of his books on the way out.